Let's do this. Gonna be golden.
If you ain't for this, you're against us.
I mean, you're never gonna get any cooler than GNR, people. I mean it. Like, it's still one of the coolest machines ever. I know we're a little bit late. But you know, better late than never. Oh. Yeah. GNR. Happy Saturday morning, baby. Let's do this. We're a little bit late. Super chats are back. Hope you guys can see that. The super chats are back. Sad boy can now get back to his incredible donations. How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday morning. Let's do this. You know, I think we can get to, and I'm going to need your help. I think we can get to back to 700 subscribers by the time Beetlejuice comes out Thursday at midnight. We're 16 people away. Spooky Luke is in the house. Did you figure out super chats? Yes, the super chats are back on, baby. I had to validate my home address or something like that. I don't know what's going on with this volume. Come on, keep it high. Keep it high, baby. I think I have to take, let's cancel out Audacity. I think it's when you got two things open that are mic activated, it alters the volume. How's everybody doing? Force quit that. Let's get everybody in this house. How's everybody doing? We're going to go around the horn. It's going to be a crazy week in pinball. I'm super excited. I don't know about you, but I am this is it. This is it. We're going to get Beetlejuice, and then we're going to get Stern Pinball trying to poor Stern, man. Poor Stern's going to they literally are going to try to stream The Walking Dead, Wyson on code, the same day Beetlejuice drops in the world. The great strategy, guys. Yeah, whoever okayed that one, insane. Not going to work. Say something nice about the Walking Dead remake. You can get the same game for half the price. How's that? Is that nice enough? Same game for half the price. Gang, I just I love where we're at now. There's no more illusions or delusions, if you will, that these Stern LEs are worth any money anymore. It's crazy. It literally is crazy. Everyone knows instantly that these 13K LEs are going to be 10 grand in a month. By the time you get it, they're going to be 10 grand. And by the time Beetlejuice goes on sale, it's going to be 10 grand. And here's the funny part. Beetlejuice is going to go from 10 to 15 instantly. And The Walking Dead is instantly going to go from 13 to 10. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else. There's no other way to skin this cat, baby. That's what's going to happen. And I can't wait for everybody who listened to Kanerda, gets their deposit in. I mean, 1,000 games is a lot of games. I hope all you get hooked up. I hope all you guys get hooked up. What's up, Brad? How you doing, brother? We got a beautiful day here in Roehampton, Connecticut. There is barely a cloud in the sky. It's drying out. Little precipitation last night. Brenda's sister went back to Ireland. Look at Sad Boy, baby, making up for lost time with the $100, baby. I love this man. Look at this guy. He gets it. He gets it. What's good, brother? I heard you made Zombie Yeti super butthurt about the abomination of color art packages. Well done. No one needs that eyesore in their life. Yeah, he's not happy with me. I think the more disappointing part about Jeremy's correspondence with me, and I understand his frustration 100%. I do. I just I just the way he packaged it all. I saw Zombie Yeti's Facebook post. What did he write on Facebook? Brian, can you post it here? The way he packaged it though, as if like I'm like solely responsible for hurting his family and his desire to work in pinball is unfair. Like that's not fair to me. Like I didn't do anything to him. I've been simply reporting back on what people are saying about these art packages. So like whatever. And I honestly he can go two ways with the feedback we've been giving him. He could like take it to heart, or they can keep releasing overly colorful games regardless of the theme. So it's on him. I'm not really concerned about this like this narrative that is now brewing over at Stern Pinball, because I know for a fact that people are trying to get out of Stern. They're sending resumes to other manufacturers. American Pinball apparently is coming back. We're going to talk about that. And the unfortunate thing for Stern is like, okay, for example, like if you take Jersey Jack, for example, every one of their games looks different. Think about it. Every one of their games looks different. This guy, was it Dale Henry Jr., right? The guy who did the art package on Guns N' Roses. This game's beautiful, right? How many times did they use him again? How many times? Zero. I think it's Dane Henry Jr. This whole notion that we're just going to keep the same art style over and over and over again, and this, very bright color palettes over and over again. Like it's just not working for Stern. That's why Jaws broke up the monotony. I didn't like the illustrated Jaws stuff. I liked more of the movie poster inspired stuff. So it is what it is. Like if Jeremy wants to talk to me, he can talk to me, but I didn't appreciate him trying to. I understand that when you're stressed at work, you bring it home. I understand that work stresses can cause interpersonal relationship stresses with your wife and children. I've lived through all this, people. I get it. But I have a show behind a paywall, and I didn't even call him out. He didn't even do the artwork on The Walking Dead. I didn't do a show that said Zombie Yeti once again torpedoes a game with where he didn't even do the art on Star Wars. He did not do the art on The Walking Dead. I didn't even like mention him. I think what he's feeling now is a tremendous pressure because he's now the art director at Stern. Like he's the top Stern art guy. So I don't know if he's like making the final calls, but I also just don't understand like how you end up with Star Wars art package. It just doesn't look good. Like that playfield looks like trash. And I'm allowed to say that. Like, I'm sorry, guys, you're selling a $13,000 product. And like, I don't feel like this sympathy because, oh, that's what the licensor made it. Like, why? Why can't you do anything better than this? If this is all you can do, then don't do it. Do something else. I'm allowed to say that. It's within my freedom of speech to have an opinion about these products. It's just crazy. And like, he's not asking me to stop talking. They're not trying to cancel me. It's not like, I just think, Jeremy just came at me late at night and just was upset. And I think he was speaking from a place of emotion, but I think if he woke up the next day, he probably would not have said that same thing to me. The part that disappoints me the most in Jeremy's correspondence to me is that he tried to throw Harry Potter and Evil Dead artwork under the bus. Like, that's the part that I don't get. Like, he tried to say, like, those games also have, like, super bright, I don't know, rainbow, puke, whatever. I don't understand why I don't know. I just got a sense of, like, are you really trying to put two, like, look, I think Evil Dead and Harry Potter art packages, like, are superior. than what they've been putting out recently. You know? Let's see what he wrote. He writes, I'll read what he wrote on Facebook. Okay, morning coffee rambling. Admittedly, taking a step back from doing what I've done every day for the past decade, making art all day long by myself, has been quite a difficult adjustment for me. I now spend the majority of my day doing support for other artists on numerous projects and managing various facets of the process. See, I'm not a performer and I don't seek a stage as my self-satisfaction is in the work and the challenge to hopefully grow in ability. So maybe I am perfect for a role behind the scenes. And yet, despite some critical of my authored work, I used to rest easy knowing I tried really hard. And if I failed, it was without any shortcuts and a whole lot of genuine effort. But now I have a task to bring in new artists and I want to protect them from the internet vitriol that orbits the world around us. The point of it all, a simple rambling realization this morning, I need to do more personal work for my sanity. And I need to remember that most critics just have to deal with bad haircuts and lack of talent that drive their desire to tear people. Well, fuck this guy. Like, fuck this guy. Look at this guy. like, like, oh my God. Like, what a direct attack at me. Like, I honestly, you know what, Jeremy? You're really a work of art, bro. Like, no, you know what, bro? Like, you keep digging the hole deeper. Here I am reading this, thinking you're gonna just like have some sort of reflection, and you want to now. Okay, fine, whatever. You, bro, seriously, seriously, like you're just literally, you know, I let's take a moment and deconstruct Zombie Eddie now, insulting me, calling me talentless, bad haircut, all this stuff. Well, I can't draw like you can draw, bro. Yeah, I never said I could. But you same on the same vein, bro, you couldn't walk into meetings that I have to walk into and come up with campaigns for clients the way I do. We have different talent sets, different skill sets. And you know what's annoying about you, man? And I'm going to be honest, is I've never ever insulted like, like you literally didn't even do the last two games I've been talking about. And now you think your job is to protect these artists. If you think that's your job, is to protect these artists from the vitriol of the internet and the pinball buying community, you don't understand the job, bro. Your job isn't to protect them. Your job is to guide them so they put out art packages that don't suck. Do you understand that, Zombie Yeti? Do you understand how much money you have to make to buy a $13,000 game before taxes? Do you understand how much hard work that takes? Do you understand that we are your customers, all of us, me, everybody watching right now? And do you understand that continuing your insults on me is, I know you don't have the skin to go down this road, brother. So I don't know why you're continuing down the road because I know you don't got it. Like you don't have the skin thick enough to keep lobbing insults at me, bro. But I'll just take the high road and say, I think your artwork's great. And I think as a company, you guys have been putting out overly colorful bag of Skittles games for the longest time, and people are sick of it. And either you want to listen to that feedback or you can keep on making these games look like My Little Pony and protect your artists who are getting paid for their work. And I think shutting down the conversation the way you're trying to do it, whatever, man. What you should have done is just, hey, Chris, sorry for the late night text accusing you of like ruining my family and making me not want to work in pinball. And like, can you just like, I don't know, maybe you could have had an adult conversation about it, but cool. Insult my haircut. You and my mom don't like it. You really put on your adult pants and took the high road. Whatever, man. Like you're paid a salary, bro. You have a job. And if you think any of the feedback that I've been saying about Stern products originates with me and this community, you're 100% wrong, bro. 100% wrong. And you literally I like I think you're suffering a little bit because you were the belle of the ball for, like, when you were new in pinball. We've seen it. We've seen the style. Dude, I'm repetitive too, man. We're both artists. Mine's with the mic. I don't think you could do a podcast like this. Is this not content creation? You create content in the form of art. I create content in the form of live videos and podcasts. It's still content, bro, right? Right? I'm not handy with I can't draw, but I can speak. The same way someone can, like, Axl Rose can sing, but he can't draw. Everyone's an artist in a different way that's making content to entertain. And I just, like, literally, I can't believe you then go and insult me again. Okay. I can't believe it. Ugh. Yeah, like, should I read the Zombie Eddie art where he comes out Evil Dead and Harry Potter and tries to, like, take them down? Meanwhile, Harry Potter CE is being looked at as one of the most beautiful art packages of all time and is selling like hotcakes. So, look, Jeremy, again, it's just not in your nature. And if you wanted, again, I just don't even think it's about defending and protecting these artists. I just think it's about maybe finding a way. And this is the advice I keep giving to Jeremy. This is the advice I keep giving to him. Maybe find a way. You're the art director. Maybe find a way to bring in some people to help give feedback on what you're considering with the art. Because, like, here's the thing. It's like people just recolorized the Walking Dead LE artwork and made it a little bit darker and a little bit more grayscaled with color. And it just looks, people just like it more. So I don't know. Oh, God. No, Rancho Jangas, we read, I was shocked to just read that Zombie Eddie is making fun of my haircut. Let's let's read what he wrote again. Hold on. Man, I always thought, Jeremy, man, it's weird to me, man. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. And it's like, let me screen grab this too before he deletes it. And he's got a picture of an adult. I guess that's me. Is that him making fun of me? I don't know. The point of it all, a simple rambling realization this morning. I need to do more personal work for my sanity. And I need to remember that most critics just have to deal with bad haircuts and lack of talent that drive their desire to tear people down. Wow. Also, I need to stop drinking coffee. Well, maybe we share that in common. So all of us that don't like an art package now at Stern, don't like some of their art packages. It's because we lack talent and we just want to tear people down. All right, whatever. You're about to get your asses kicked with Beetlejuice art. It's about to kick all your asses, Stern. So go ahead, lob your shots. You're really going down the wrong way, and I guarantee you that this is why. I guarantee you this is why the new Stern CMO has no idea that Yeti is firing off these text messages at 12:44 in the morning to Kanerda. I guarantee you he has no idea he's posting this stuff on social media. Because again, like, what's the outcome of that? But Look, in the end, Stern continues to just do stuff, um, that just make it easier to say no to their product. I don't even, honestly, it's like, I don't look, you know how I always feel, gang. You guys can always make up your own mind on what you wanna buy, and I encourage you to, buy the things that you wanna buy. But, I let's be honest. The artists over at Stern Pinball are effing jealous of what's about to hit and what has hit recently, because 'cause we're no longer, like, gawking over their look, I think Zombie Yeti's X-Men is one I've said this, I think his X-Men is one of the most amazing looking pinball machines that's ever been put out. Wyson torpedoed the game's code, and now they have to try to repair it. That game burnt Jack Danger out to the point where he doesn't even wanna, like, do any more design. So, like, great, great, but I've never said the art package the Zeddy's art package, Yeti's art package on X-Men is phenomenal. King Kong is an abomination. Like it, and it's not even like the cabinet that's the abomination. It's the color palette of the freaking playfield looks like an abomination. What about that? Like, see, this is the thing. He gets mad because and when I like everybody else said that King Kong's art package was an abomination, like everything louder than everything else, color palette. Yeti came at me and he's like, "How dare people tear down like Kevin O'Connor and John Ferris's work or do David like whoever like literally like we should have shown them more respect because of their pedigree, and we shouldn't have judged that art package on its own merit." I don't really agree with that, man. Paul Ferris, yeah, thank you, Paul Ferris. Like, it was like Kevin O'Connor and Paul Ferris, right? Anyway, lack of talent. Man, I got no talent, man. Man, I wish I had some talent. I wish I had talent. Why am I employed by why am I employed by some of the biggest brands in the world and one of the best marketing companies in the world because I have no talent? Okay, well, it's crazy to have like a career as long as mine with zero talent. Why have I had such a great podcast following for the longest time? Is it because of lack of talent? Do you think if Yeti did a podcast, you guys would be into it? I mean, he's done interviews, but like, you know what I'm saying? I would love to hear like a podcast all about how hard it is to work with licensors because I know we know it is. We know it is. But, look, I know it sucks. I know it sucks for these new artists to come into pinball and get torn apart. But let me ask you a question, guys. Has anybody torn apart the artist that did Metallica Remastered? No, because they made a great art package. It's just that simple. Like, I just don't, and I get art is subjective, but the response to Metallica was phenomenal. Well, look, Franchi, here's the deal. Here's the deal. I think it's natural to feel competitive with other artists and they're definitely when you look at the history of like Franchi and Yeti and Stern, it's an interesting one. The smart move would have always have been for Stern to have Franchi and Yeti be their 1-2 punches with art. You give Jeremy the stuff that requires more illustration and comic book style and line work. You know what I'm saying? Like X-Men, right? Like stuff like Deadpool. Heck, Ghostbusters was amazing, even, and that was one that really surprised everybody. And then you give Franchi like other things that are like perfect for his style. And Stern Pinball could have had like the two best looking artists in pinball, like going back and forth on every release or, when appropriate, and they would have crushed it. But you know what I'm saying? But this is where, I think Stern made short-term decisions that they're going to feel the mistake in the long run. And letting Franchi go was obviously a mistake, but I think it's bigger than that. I think not listening to the themes that Christopher Franchi wanted them to make is the real mistake that Stern made. Chris brought them the kinds of nostalgic stuff that he knew this audience would eat up. And they said no time and time again. And, I think that will hurt Stern more than anything as they try to, you know, win us over with their latest offerings, which just are not as compelling. The art should not have to be interpreted. Yeah, like, look, gang, it's like I think can you list the themes Franchi brought? I would say Franchi brought them Beetlejuice. I believe Franchi brought them Wonder Woman. He brought them he brought them Superman 78. I want to say he also brought them, I mean, Jaws was one that he also wanted to make, which they end up actually making. So, just right there, I mean, boom, boom. But it's just more of an understanding of what these people want is the nostalgia. And people also forget how he saved Batman 66. They gave him almost no time to work on it. They were going to do Photoshop drag and drop on Batman 66, and Franchi came in and freaking saved the day. Still to this day, the Batman 66 Super LE with the Batmobile on the side of the cabinet is the nicest Stern machine ever. Ever. It's just so nice. See, I don't want it to turn into this. I actually, I think collectively, I want to, in front of each and every one of you, I want to bury the hatchet with Mr. Jeremy Packer. I do. Because again, for his sanity, not for mine, but for his own sanity, I just want to say, Jeremy, look, I know he said F you because I think, like, you're just, again, taking cheap shots and you think I've been taking cheap shots. But Jeremy, the reason why nothing we say about your company's artwork is a cheap shot because the damn products cost, $7,000 to $13,000. It's nothing cheap about them, bro. So we're gonna have opinions. I want to say I'm sorry that we've upset you. I say we because you keep referring to it as some Kanerda army that I'm leading against you. So I'm sorry that we've upset you. I think moving forward, there's an opportunity here for real growth, maybe for both of us, bro, but there's an opportunity for real growth. And I think where you guys would be beneficial is if you figured out a way to bring in some focus groups earlier on to sort of ask their opinions about, well, if we were to make King Kong, find some King Kong fanatics, find some guys that collect King Kong movie posters. What would be the interpretation of King Kong that would be most exciting to you? It is what it is. Look, again, I really just I think we're in this hobby to have fun. We're not here to see wars between art directors and podcasters. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I've got two beautiful boys. I've got a beautiful wife, a beautiful job, a beautiful friends. And, we've just been disappointed in Stern's recent offerings. And I think they don't know how to really accept that. And I think they look at, it's easy to look at Kanerda and say it's just Kanerda trying to tear us. Like, Jeremy, I'm reading what everybody's writing about this stuff on Pinside, bro. And I know, and look, some people love the King Kong artwork. Some people love the Walking Dead remastered artwork. I just don't feel this pressure to say that I also love it. I actually, quite candidly, I think the Walking Dead art package looks better than the old one. I do. But I also think they missed the mark because it didn't need to be so colorful. Like, I think the illustrations are better. I think the overall look of the game looks better. But again, I think Stern is sort of stuck, like just putting those zombie heads on the slingshots. I just think the way they're dressing up their games now, I don't think they really know how to make their games look ultra premium. And I think it's a big problem for them. And I've been saying this for a while. I think Spike 3 isn't enough of a wow factor to justify the price of these games. And I think we're about to see a wow factor with Beetlejuice in 6 days, and it's going to be $10,000. And I think Stern should be pretty damn terrified if that game raises the bar another level. Evil Dead raised the bar. And I think they're, even though they're going to sell their volume, they don't have mojo going. They don't have swagger with these games. No one cares that they're going to sell the volume. Only Neil McRae is excited about the volume by which Stern sells. I mean, Neil acts like he's an investor in Stern. He's making ridiculous claims. There is no way last month they sold more Godzillas than Jersey Jacket has sold of Harry Potter in 4 months. There's no way. But see, you can say a statement like that is a flat out lie based on no evidence whatsoever. He has no idea how many Godzillas sold. He also has no idea how many Harry Potters have sold. And to say something like that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I would never make a stupid claim like that. Everybody wants the same thing. Let me look into the Jeremy, George, Seth, Luke, Bug, Frenchie. Everybody wants the same thing, gang. They just want amazing games that are magical, that are a world under glass, that interpret the theme in an amazing, exciting way, and that are like really give us the value. That's all we want, man. I don't want to tell you that Star Wars art sucks. I wanted to buy a Star Wars game, you jackasses. So if you attack me because I think Star Wars playfield art looks like ass, it does. I love Star Wars. I'm worried about Elliot Eisman doing Transformers. The dude how old is Elliot Eisman? Is he even old enough to have been a kid when Transformers was popular in 1986? I don't think so. But again, Stern is one great game away from everybody moving back in their direction. They just haven't had it in so long. And I think the people over there are anxious, easily triggered. They're acting like students at Harvard University more than they are pinheads. They all want, you see this at Harvard? Last year, Harvard gave 60% of the students at Harvard received an A grade, an A. I think it's something like 10 years ago or maybe more, like only 20% of the students got an A. 60% of the students are not supposed to get an A. And now that the university is aware of that, they are going to start grading harder because you need a scale where not everybody can get an A. It makes an A mean nothing. And all the students are complaining now about their mental health if they don't get handed an A. It's what it sounds like. These guys over at Stern, it's like they want an A for effort. I know you guys are making a big effort to make these games, but like, I'm sorry, Jeremy, do you think Star Wars looks great? You think the little AT-AT by the flipper button looks good? You think that playfield artwork, which you look at more than anything else, you look down at that playfield artwork more than anything else, you think that Star Wars artwork looks great? And if you say yes, you know what? That's on you, but I don't. Does anyone like the Star Wars playfield artwork? Anybody? I'd rather they use AI. AI would have made that artwork better. Here, look, it's funny because here we are 1 week away from Beetlejuice. And it's not surprising to me that the Stern camp is not in a good mood. It's not surprising to me. I talked to some of the biggest distros guys. This is real facts. They are not selling many Walking Dead LEs. I mean, I can count on just a few fingers how many the big distros have sold. They are not selling out those 500 Walking Dead LEs. Now, I mean, think about how I was wrong. I thought they would easily. I thought Stern only making 500 of a classic game would easily sell out. I was wrong. This is gang, this is a bad sign. This is a bad sign. They don't even know what to do now. Like, what do we do now? Where do we go now? This just doesn't make much sense. Yeah, I don't think Stern really does understand what $10,000 to $13,000 means. It's the problem is not the 10 to 13. The problem is what the game's going to be worth in 10 months. That's the problem, everybody. It's not the 10 to 13. It's that the $13,000 game is going to be worth 10 and the $10,000 game is going to be worth 7 in just like a few months. That's the problem. That if you buy the game new in box, you are just gonna it's just gonna tank in value. Anyway, man, guys, I'm sorry that I don't have any talent. I'm sorry that I have a bad haircut. I'm sorry that I'm a bad father, a horrible husband, a terrible coworker, a horrible human being because I've been critical of $13,000 pinball art packages. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry that I wanted King Kong to look like the iconic King Kong movie posters. I'm really sorry that Stern was so cheap that they couldn't license the Empire State Building. Just think about that for a minute. They were so cheap, they couldn't even license the Empire State Building. How much do you think it would have cost them to license the Empire State Building for King Kong? I know the people who do the communications for the Empire State Building. I bet they would have like happily given it to them. I bet they didn't even try to get it. Thank you for the stars, Nick. Yeah, is it a bad day for me to apply for the Stern CMO job now? No. No, all the resumes are going elsewhere, people. Let's talk about what's going on in pinball. Let's let, Zombie Yeti can have his cup of coffee and he can you know, he can make fun of my haircut. I wish I had Jeremy's hair. Just make sure you have enough class to wear your Frenchy art tee next Saturday on your spectacular. Um, all right, let's talk about American pinball coming back. I keep seeing this, like they hired a customer service guy. They're now saying they're going to be back. Um, I don't understand it. I'm assuming it's Cuphead. American pinball coming back. You know what's interesting about AP coming back is I think the thing they should do is become like Rick's partner, not Pedretti. I think AP should be the company that makes the remakes of like Toadin and Theater of Magic. I also think the smartest thing in the world, would be for American Pinball and Dutch Pinball to do this and do a joint production of Back to the Future. I think I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Mukesh and like Barry Melvin don't really get along. But I think the smartest move is to just make AP the US manufacturing location for Back to the Futures. And you just keep and you make, Barry just makes the European ones and you just keep going. Keep going. Wow, they said it's not Cuphead. So, I mean, that's what I would. Cuphead is dead. Wow. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's He-Man. Maybe it's Masters of the Universe. The new movie's coming out. Yeah, I don't think anyone cares. I think I don't know, a expo just happened like a year from now. 6 days from now, people. How cool was that, how cool was that spooky speak that Luke gave us to watch? Um, you know, still laughing at that weasel Colin, like, took off my credit. Literally, Luke gives me the clip and says, "Chris, wanted to share this with you early and give a treat for your fans because this was your idea to put this in the game." And he's like, we're so happy we did it. And here you go. And then Colin, the purveyor of positivity in pinball, removes my watermark from the video, gives me no credit, and then releases it as his own exclusive. Think about that for a minute. Think about the men, how they were raised, who their mamas are. This is a father. This is a husband. This is a guy that's got children who's going to teach them what values in life. It's people like, you know what I always say this, like, I always give credit where credit is due. I don't care if I like you or hate you. I will give credit where credit is due. If David Fix came out with the best game tomorrow, I would be like, David, you nailed it. And I just think it's crazy. It's crazy. But in the end, like, Colin just cancels himself because I don't do any of you subscribe to the Kineticist? Do any of you actually pay for the Kineticist or for TWIP? Do you actually give that guy like $1? Like, I can't even imagine. Like, I unsubscribed from that so long ago. And guess what? Naps Arcade is all you need. Pinside and Naps Arcade. What else do you need? I've never met anyone that subscribes. And he's always like begging for like $40 to keep it going. Like, nobody cares, bro. If the Kineticist went away tomorrow, would anybody be devastated by it? I don't think so. And again, like Colin and I, we made up. He had a golden opportunity to continue a good, cordial relationship. But it's clear he doesn't want to do that with people. And it's not just with me, gang. The stories of him and other people, and it's all, I mean, other people are not so outspoken like me, and other people just won't, don't want to get in it with people. I don't have that problem. I can call someone a weasel because they are a weasel. No, no. I mean, look, I'm all things are all good with Ralph and Don now, where Jengiz and Zach, Greg, Kent. Like, I think the only person I have an issue with now is like Colin. I really think that's it. Well, and Zombie Yeti, apparently, right? It's like Zombie Yeti's cup of coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna do the Zombie Yeti haircut next. But again, like, and I will say this: the people that double down on the hate, it'll eat them up. It won't make them sleep better at night. Like right now, Jeremy posting that, and now he's going to be like, "Oh, Kanerda did a whole thing about what you said about him." It's not going to add to his sanity. And again, Jeremy, when you just take the high road, you that's what makes you sleep at night. And it's funny that he puts up a picture of an adult baby, and then I guess that's me, and he's the adult. He's the mature guy. Okay, sure, sure. I don't. It's weird to me because Brenda loves Jeremy's artwork. She's got his Ernie Hudson thing hanging on the like refrigerator. We met him. We've always. I just think I think Stern ruined him. I really do. I think Stern's ruined him. I think he's still the great, nice guy. I think Stern has put him on too many things. I think Stern has forced him to be part of projects he never should have. And now he's got to, now he's got to manage all of this. And I don't know, man. I just don't think it's like what he loves to do. I have to be honest. There's a reason why even in my career, like, I don't want to manage all these people. Like, I'm a very good creative, but I'm not the best manager. I'm good with the concepts. I'm not great with the operational logistics, if you will. And so, like, the next stage in my career would be chief creative officer, CCO, but a CCO role is much more managerial. And I just want to stay in the work. I just want to stay doing the concepts. Like, I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and I will succeed when I'm in the right role. If I'm in the wrong role, even though it might be elevated, even though like, I some people's egos think they can do it, I'm not that's not what I excel at. Yeah, because like much like what Zombie Yeti is going through now, like I don't want to be accountable for somebody else's ideas. And he now has to manage other people's art projects on things. And he, you know what I'm saying? Like he knows the Star Wars playfield art is not great. Come on, he knows it. Ah, how's everybody doing? All right. So AP coming back. Winchester. Where are the Winchesters at? Are they on the line? You know what's funny is, like I just think this week is Spooky's week. I think anybody doing anything marketing this week is wrong. I think Barrels should not be doing their factory tour Saturday. I think that's a mistake. I think it's a huge mistake for Stern to be streaming The Walking Dead on Friday, right when it's Beetlejuice's week. This is Beetlejuice's week. This is Spooky's week. And if you do something marketing on top of this week, you're going to get ignored and it's not going to work. And you'd be better off just waiting a week. Wait a week. I don't think, because again, what's the point? I mean, all the Winchesters sold. I mean, factory tour, cool. I still am curious to see if the game's just on the line. People are going to get them. I mean, no one's worried about if. It's just a matter of when. And will the excitement continue to last? There's been a few streams happening around Winchester, which is good. I've been on the record for saying I still think Dune is a better shooter than Winchester. Winchester's definitely unique, but it's not a game with flow. And I think for a lot of you guys out there, it has a difficulty level that I'm not sure everyone is going to find appealing. But it's got some, it's cool though. It's just different. It's cool. It's unique. I mean, it's always going to win on that level. And it just feels like having a Winchester now is always going to be like kind of like a special thing. And it will always be that. Like when you have a great launch like this, name me a game again. Well, maybe Alice, but name me a game where I don't even know, but even Alice didn't have a great launch. Alice kind of sold out. I just because it was like different and unique. I mean, but I definitely think there's much more game here than there is in Alice for sure. But it's more about what this says about the pinball buyer and the collector now is that they're all looking for something unique and different. And I think that's what you get now with a game like Winchester, with a game like Alice. Roz is amazing, man. I mean, wait. Let me take that back. Roz has got so much more in it than Alice. I think it's there's some amazingly cool stuff in Raza. Matt Andrews, who worked on Raza, his art package is stunning. It's really cool. Pumping Spooky is a 100% Kanerda move. Matt, I don't know what you mean by that. Is anybody saying anything negative about Spooky right now? I call it like I see it. I mean, the Spooky guys they've heard me in moments of appreciation of what they're doing, and they've heard me tear their stuff down when I think it's not good. Uh-oh. Hold on. Are we back? That was weird. Did they get me? Are we back? I think Zombie Yeti got me. He got me. Yeti got me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Funny. I want to do like a what is that like Pearl Jam like Jeremy's spoken yesterday. He's got no talent and a bad haircut, tearing people down. Jeremy's spoken yesterday. 12:42 a.m. Jeremy spoken yesterday. Ha. Yeti, let's do this, baby. You want to go to war with Kanerda? Why? Why? I get you can draw, bro. Yeah, man. Woo! You got to give Evil Dead credit, brother. You got to give Harry Potter credit. Why are you coming at Potter and Evil Dead? Two of the most beautiful games we've seen. I'm sorry we don't like King Kong, man. We don't like it. We don't like it. Are we allowed not to like it? Who is everybody a talentless hack if we don't like it? You put the same art package on the Pro as the LE, bro. You put the same art package on the Pro as the LE. So what happened there, brother? Were you busy getting a bad haircut? Or were you just thinking that people spending $13,000 would be cool with you putting the same damn artwork on the Pro? Jeremy, wake the F up. The LE should be exclusive artwork. You know, so you're so busy, so then we have to compromise. So maybe Kaneda's not wrong. Maybe Kaneda's speaking on behalf of everybody. Maybe the reason people didn't want Kong LE is because you made Kong Pro look exactly like Kong LE. And maybe that gong ain't enough. That gong ain't enough, baby. That little spider, little magnetic spider. Woo, doo, 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 doo. Talentless hack with a bad haircut. For my sanity, I'm gonna keep attacking him. Bump, 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 bump. We doing this? We doing this, Jeremy? Or are we building bridges, baby? We building bridges. It's like it is what it is. It is what it is. Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. I don't sleep. My kids are young. My kids are young. My boomer parents are wise. It's good, man. The kids are gonna be all right. You know, my mom's an artist. She's very, I mean, like I get it, man. Artists are like my mom is you think I'm emotional? My mom is Sicilian. Like she like it is all emotion all the time. She's a very talented artist. And much like Yeti, like my mom can draw like perfect, like pen and ink sketching. When my family really had no money when we were younger, like my mom did pen and ink sketches of houses to earn some extra money to buy us like winter clothes and stuff. Like she'll give you the whole sob story. Like they had no money. They were literally like parents came from nothing. Then they, then they climbed up a little bit. They can't climb up in this world. No shill zone, baby. Yeah, but gang, here's the thing, man. It's like, I'll tell you what's not going to work. When people say the art is not that bad. How's the pizza? Not that bad. That's not what we want for $13,000. Not that bad. If that's the goal, is to make an art, The Walking Dead, the new one, it's not that bad. Not that bad. Hey, do you want to buy a $13,000 Stern machine? It's not that bad. Not that bad is what I want to hear about. I don't know how much salt is on the popcorn at the movie theater. It's not that bad. That's what I want to hear. Not that bad, right? Okay. Not on my $13,000 pinball machine. I want to hear the art is effing amazing. It's not that bad. You know, it's not that bad. Kaneda's haircut. Kaneda's haircut is not that bad. Are we still going? Yeah, we're still going. We're baking. Yeah, but that's a like I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Welcome to Stern. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Where's Neil McRae, baby? Where's Neil McRae? Planning his next trip? Pinball Media, baby. Neil and Iceman, they're going to put their Walking Dead LEs together and just play together. They're like, Nia, they should just hug each other while they play. It's not that bad. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. This is like the new Stern marketing. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. People, welcome to Kanerda's Pinball Podcast. Are we having fun? No one else can talk. Like, I just like, not that bad. Yeah, there is a word for it, and it's called mediocre. Thank you, Dwayne. Like, it's ridiculous. Not that bad. Not that bad. He's got to stop. He's got to stop. Ah. Beetlejuice. First of all, we haven't even spoken about how cool is the voice activation on Beetlejuice. How cool was that clip that Bug sent us? Busy. Look, can we just be real for a minute? I mean, let me just go get another cup of coffee. I'm gonna dish some real on about Jeremy, about everything I know that's going on, and I know it's hard to hear, but like whatever. It's time. All right. So let me just get a little bit more coffee, and then we're really gonna drop some truth bombs. You can't like you can't, Jeremy, you can't beat a guy that walks around in public like this in a full Doraemon football kit. Like you can't like a dude that's my age wearing a robotic cat from the 31st century. Like, you got to like evaluate, can I beat a guy that walks around in public with a full Doraemon kit on? Start there. Like, that's just base level questioning I need you to do for your sanity, apparently. Full kit. Full kit. Look at this.
Guns N' Roses by Jersey Jack Pinball.
Hell yeah. Put some whiskey in it, baby. Not that bad. Oh, it's not that bad. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But it's not that bad. I don't hate it. Oh my God. Are we doing this? Not that bad. Not that bad. Okay. I wish it was a onesie. All right. Do we want to just drop the real right now? Do we want to talk truth? Well, I'm not going to scream. I'm just going to tell you what I think is happening, and I've witnessed this in other industries. I've witnessed it in my own personal career. When you're part of a creative project, there's good years and bad years. There's years in which you seemingly can do no wrong. There's years in which you are celebrated. Every move you make is working out. People's response to your creative ideas is amazing. Everyone's in love with what you're working on, and everybody's looking at you for the answers. And sometimes you can continue to hit and solve problems and create stuff that people love consistently. And then some years you just don't have the same opportunities. And it's very much like pinball. I feel like every once in a while You're going to get a project that just everything clicks, like Godzilla. You're going to get a project where the design is there, the mechs are there, the art is there, the theme integration is there, the assets are there, and you put it all together and everybody loves it. Everybody loves what you've worked on. Everybody appreciates it. Everybody's buying one, everybody's loving one, and it just feels so good. And you got to think about, you have almost the same exact people that made that game made King Kong. And you got to imagine, like, well, what, like, how 4 years later, same people, same passion, same energy, same opportunity. King of the Monsters, Godzilla and King Kong collectively are the two big beasts that are culturally in the same realm. They're in the same movies recently. It's like we think about these larger than life things. And one game is one of the greatest, most beloved games of all time. And then you make another one and it's ridiculed. It's passed on quickly. Most people don't want one. And it was a flop and a failure. And how did that happen, right? What changed? You can go down a list of things that were different. Also, there was just natural fatigue when you start to see the same stuff, same looking stuff. Stern games, this is the part that like they just don't get. Your games all look the same. And when I put up that picture of like 7 Stern releases, and if you squint your eyes, they all look the same. They all are working like the same color palettes. And it's not just the colorization of your machine, Stern. It's like the art itself. It's just all looking the same. And because you make so many games a year, not only are we like oversaturated with like the look of them, but also the colorization of them, just the overall sense that like you guys don't know how to make a machine that just feels independent of like the portfolio, and everything just blends together. And I think for a time, gang, it worked. But as I've been saying recently, look at like Tron next to Ghostbusters next to Batman. They don't look the same. Like nothing about them looks the same. They all had like an individual identity. Put Lord of the Rings next to those games, Star Trek, AC/DC, Lucy, right? They all looked so different. And they were also so much cheaper. So when you were making games that were half as much money, they all had much more visual identity to them. And gang, like the Star Trek armor lit up side rails are far more impressive than 10 years later, they put the lighted rails on The Walking Dead Remastered, and the lights are going the wrong way for the way bullets travel. And like, again, like, so nobody over there is like, I, I, I guess if we're only selling this game to people that don't remember what we used to do, maybe it works. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I don't hate it, but the lights are going in the wrong direction. So like, it's just really hard for us to feel like we want to keep supporting all of these moves when in a time when you're charging the most you ever have for your games, you're not really elevating. And I think everybody over there needs to slow down. And I mean this, I think Zombie Yeti is burnt out. It's not Jeremy talking to me like that. That's not how Jeremy talks. These games aren't what Jeremy is capable of. He knows he doesn't want to only do 2 art packages for King Kong. He doesn't want to recycle King Kong art onto 3 cabinets like that. He didn't have enough time because he's on too much other stuff. And he's spread too thin. And now you have him in a role that's going to spread him out even thinner. And now, not only that, now the pressure is on. And I will tell you this, in any creative field, whether you're playing baseball, illustrating pinball, or like Kanerda, coming up with creative ideas for major billion-dollar companies, pressure sometimes works against you. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good to have a deadline and pressure to get something done. Like I just went through a new business pitch and it was good that we had like only a week to get it done. So we had to make decisions because that's what pressure does do is it actually makes people make decisions, which can be hard with organizations like Stern, where I bet there's a lot of committee and a lot of people weighing in. And I bet that's also hurting Yeti and George and Seth. I don't think they know what to do per se. I think there's too many people with opinions. And then, in addition to all of the committees at Stern, they've got to deal with jackasses like me. They got to deal with people on Pinside. They like everyone's in their head. And that's why I mean this when I say this. They need a timeout to reevaluate and reestablish and make a game that reminds everybody what they are capable of as an organization. They need their next Godzilla. Jaws was not it. Jaws was close, is as close as they've gotten to a Godzilla, but they need another Jaws, another Godzilla. They need a nostalgic game that they execute perfectly well, and there's no compromises. There's no, I don't hate it. Like the fact that they destroyed Star Wars again, they made an ugly Star Wars game, a game with very little creativity under the glass. Gang, it's like you don't just recover from these things. And because what happens with all of these launches is it just makes more and more people look elsewhere. If you think about a pinball company like a restaurant, and I think as grown adults, you can relate to this metaphor. When you find restaurants that you enjoy going into, even if the food's not the best, right? You might go into it because the customer service is amazing. When you walk through the door, they know your name and they greet you in a way that the fancy Michelin star place would not. And so maybe you decide to only spend your money there. And pinball is a lot like that. People have a certain amount of money they're willing to spend on new in-box games a year. Dealers and distros are different. You know, they want as much allocation that they feel like they can sell. It's different. But for consumers, you're going to decide if Stern is still the restaurant you want to go into. Now, all of a sudden, this new restaurant opened up and it's called Evil Dead. It's Spooky's restaurant. Spooky's now, and I say this, it's like Spooky's now got a new chef in the kitchen. They've got a few new chefs in the kitchen. And now all of a sudden, the dishes they're serving up are much better than the dishes they were serving a few years ago. Not only that, they renovated the place. It looks better. It tastes better. And they really have great customer service. All of a sudden now, I might want to go into the Spooky restaurant and I'm good not going back to Stern. Barrels of Fun, same thing. You know, it's like Jersey Jack, same thing. The more these companies continue to exceed your expectations, the more you're going to continually want to support those manufacturers. And this is the number one problem at Stern Pinball today. Nothing they've come out with recently over the last few years has exceeded or even met our expectations for them, for these prices, and for these themes. And it's not just Kanerda saying this. And Neil McRae is delusional. Zombie Yeti's just frustrated. I get his frustration. I don't have a great haircut. I agree with him. I don't know what else to do. I got trapped in this like high buzz cut during COVID, and I've just kind of fallen in love with the high buzz because it removes the gray hair from my head. That's it. That's the truth. I can look a little younger if I just go high and tight. My mom hates it too, Jeremy. Don't worry. You're not the only one. And she's an artist too. My mom is actually embarrassed by my haircut. Every time I go home, she's like, I can't believe you're my son and you have that haircut. So you're not wrong, Jeremy. But I think Jeremy and the team over there, I think they're just like, because they have to keep games on a new game every 3 to 4 months. I think at the speed and size they are, they're not able to all focus on making that new game that exceeds expectations. And here's the big thing. And I mean this when I say this, and you can guys tell them, I mean, I'm not screaming here. I'm not trying to get likes or I'm just trying to be real. The biggest mistake Stern did is they did not release Spike 3 with a statement game that introduced its new platform to the world in a magical way. You cannot do what they have done. You cannot pussyfoot, for lack of a better term, into your new platform the way they did. You cannot introduce what is supposed to be the next chapter of your company's product in such a bad way. And it's just been a terrible, slow rolling out. People are confused by it. Is this fully Spike 3 now? Nobody knows. And when they talk about a Raspberry Pi with an HDMI out as one of the things they're going to highlight as the power of their new platform, thank you, Stern. We're done here. That is like Ferrari announcing its new inline 4 engine. It's embarrassing. It sounds like they don't have anything. It sounds like they want credit for something they shouldn't. And it just doesn't feel like the next evolution of the world's biggest pinball company's platform. And so all of it, you add it all up, and people more and more are avoiding new in-box Stern purchases. And then you look at the secondhand value of their games, and they're tanking. What about what I just said do you disagree with? The floor is yours. I will read what you guys write both on Facebook and on YouTube, but I think that's a fair assessment. And I think this company needs to call timeout. I think they need a statement game. And I think they need to put all their efforts into that statement game. And it's not going to be Fallout. I mean, Pokemon is big. Should be Pokemon. But I'm worried. I'm worried that there's just internal committees and personalities, and they don't feel like a culture that's a unit anymore. So I would love to hear what your thoughts are on what I just said. It's not that bad. Stern is beyond innovative. Is beyond innovative. You're completely off base, Seth. That's funny. Okay, that's a joke. The distributors insulate Stern from reality. I mean, I don't know, right? I don't know if that's like the case anymore. I've been speaking to some distros. They're not selling Walking Dead's. For some reason, when Jack watches on Facebook, Jack, welcome to the party, pal, it just keeps saying that Dead Flip is watching. It just keeps repeating it. You know, no, the Ellie is not sold out. I saw that Game Room Goodies was closing. I mean, again, I don't think someone closing is necessarily indicative of the health of the hobby. They might just be closing for other reasons or personal reasons. So I wasn't, who knows? See, this is the part I don't get, because then Neil McRae says they're having one of their best years ever. And they have back orders. Back orders. How is this? How are those two things even? How can they be true? How can we have like nobody, LEs are not selling out, yet there's back orders? Neil thinks they sold 27,000 Godzillas. I don't even think that's like humanly possible. There's not that many people that buy pinball. Well, they only sell like 10 Walking Dead LEs direct. You guys know that. Like, there's none on the Stern website is not an indication. I've said it. I think Jaws 50th is the game I would buy if I were all of you. I think that's going to be the one, like, because they're never making more if we believe them. But I've always felt Jaws 50th is gonna hold value way better than like Walking Dead's, and I just think Jaws is it's like the last good game they've made. They did not sell 27,000 Godzillas. If they had eclipsed the Addams Family with the greatest selling pinball machine of all time, they would have promoted that. Wait, Zach thinks they sold 50,000 Godzillas. That's not even like, I can't even entertain that. Yeah, 15,000, not 50,000, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Like, no, I 15,000 I would believe. I would believe 15,000. That's a lot, right? But it's also probably the best modern pinball machine ever. So I don't doubt 15K. 27, no way. Anyway, gang, it's a beautiful Saturday. I hope you enjoyed this. I want to ask, can I ask you guys a favor? I'm trying to get back to 700 subscribers. We're only 16 people away. 16. Now, I know there is at least 16 people that will be watching this today that are not signed up club members. Some of you might be stealing the show. I don't know. You know how it is today. People share logins, I guess. I would love it. And if you are a member, you can give the gift of Kanerda now. It's real easy. You can gift one of your friends. Well, Fizzy, you can gift it to a friend. You could double subscribe. If you want to double subscribe, Fizzy, all you got to do, if you're already a member, you can just subscribe under a different email and you'll be on there twice. But definitely, definitely, I think if we can get 16 people by next Friday, that'd be amazing. I also, yes, there is now the Silver Ball swag has some Kanerda merch on it. Thank you, Neil. We can, you guys can check it out. It's on my Facebook page. It's on my Patreon page. We've got the Band Kanerda Expo shirts. No idea how to sign up, says Jim Hood. Can somebody on Facebook? Let me do this right now. Jim, come on, man. Where you been? Where you been? Kanerda's Pinball Podcast Patreon. let Jim, like, this is literally the most well-known link in all of, let me just put it in the chat right now. By the way, did you see like the just go to Patreon, Kanerda's Pinball Podcast, and you're good to go. Did you guys see my cover photo where like literally the pixelated spinner stickers? Here we go. Come on, gang. Let's get it going. Some are just waiting for Colin to rip off the content. Can I just pay you $60? If you want to, Jim. The thing is, Jim, just sign up because I can't unlock the shows for if you just want to give $60, that's cool. I mean, just kanedapinball@gmail.com on PayPal. Or you can Venmo my personal name, which is easy to find on Facebook. Everybody, look, I thought Neil said Kanerda was at 1,500 subscribers. It's a beautiful day, for everybody's sanity. Why don't we do this? Why don't we all not play pinball today? Go outside, invite a friend out that you haven't seen in a while, or take your family out for a nice lunch, and then just be present with your family and friends today, and forget about Pinside, forget about Facebook, forget about Canada, and just let's all just have a joyous time on this beautiful planet, on this beautiful day, this beautiful fall day, and everybody go get a bad haircut. Okay, I think let's do it. It's 39 degrees outside. I know it is cold out. Put on the coat, Franchi. Everybody, look, big day this week with Beetlejuice. We're obviously gonna have a lot of shows leading up to it. I can't wait. Sticker doesn't look pixelated. To use a polycarbonate matte finish laminate on these that have texture when zoomed in. The more the texture finish you can see. No, it looks pixelated. Come on. It looks pixelated. All right, later, guys. Let's get off this Facebook. Let's stay on Facebook for a second.